What is going on, everybody? In today's video we're going to be going over a complete overview of the Elgato Game Capture software. I'm actually finally going to stop using my Elgato HD60 S and either be using the S Plus or the X. Now the reason I'm doing that, a friend of mine needs a capture card. I've got extra capture cards that I don't even use right now, so I'm going to be sending this to him. But this is essentially the very last time that we'll be using this software right here. And I don't know why Elgato ever got rid of this. Personally, it's the best software they've ever had, in my opinion. The new software, which we'll talk about in the follow-up video, is not great. And the reason I'm going through everything on this software is because I will use it in follow-up videos to compare the new software that we're going to have to be using. So the first thing that we're going to do here is just show you what happens whenever you actually have this full screen on your computer. Now I do have my Xbox on. You guys can see everything is moving. Our game audio is actually capturing, and we're going to maximize this. Now if you were to just leave this alone for a while, it will go into full screen, which will show you exactly what's going on your console. Right, so this is perfect. It's 1-to-1. There is no lag. It is my favorite thing in the world, one of my favorite softwares. And then if you needed to press record or press any other buttons, you could just move your mouse and it'll go back to that. So the first thing that we're going to go over is the Game Capture HD settings or preferences right here. You go to the gear icon, and this is where you're going to set everything up as far as where your locations go. So we've got our videos going to our videos, as well as our export locations, and then our screenshots would go to the desktop. This is where you would enable flashback recording, which is one of the most fantastic things that Elgato's got, as well as enable stream command if you wanted to. So we can just hit OK on that, and this bar will pop up here. Now we'll talk about that here in a second. It's not a big deal, but for right now we will minimize that, and everything is still great. So that's everything as far as your capture area goes. Now as far as sharing, this was one of my favorite things of this software. You can choose where to send things directly from your capture software. You could upload your videos directly to YouTube, directly to Twitter, or if you wanted, you could just press the download button and have them saved onto your hard drive. You could also send them to iPhones, you could do Movie Maker, you could send them through emails, you could do a lot of stuff with this. Now as far as your file exports, depending on whether or not you had overlays or not, you could mix your things together. So if you had a face cam on here, you could click on this, and whenever you export your track, it would have your face cam. Now personally, I like having everything separate so that you can edit everything individually. So whenever I would use this, I would export as separate files the gameplay, the live commentary, the Elgato sound capture. If we ever use that, we don't use that because the way that we actually stream with OBS and stuff like that, we don't actually need that. But if we did have Elgato's sound capture, we could have that exported on its own, and it just made everything easier. It would export everything individually and allow you to edit anything the way that you needed to. Now if you wanted to, you could mix your face cam as well as your live commentary, but again, sometimes your audio gets messed up, sometimes there's a long pause, or sometimes you say things you don't want to say, and you don't want that to be mixed up with your actual gameplay. So I would always do everything separate. Now as far as your updates, you could check for updates automatically. I think that's an obvious thing. You should always have that on, always have the latest updates. You could set up your hotkeys, and then you could go into advanced and choose what kind of encoder and decoder you wanted. I usually had mine around here or here, and that would be fine. So we're going to hit OK there, and now everything is good to go as far as our settings go. Now if you needed more information, they had a very simple button here that you could click, and this will take you to their website, allow you to check for updates and things of that sort. Not a big deal. We've got the minimize, full screen, and closing out. Everything is good there. The next thing that you would want to do is check out your settings for the hardware itself. So we're going to click on device settings, and this is where things would be important, right? In this case, I'm using my Xbox Series X, but you could also have your S, your One, 360 even, PS5, PS4, your PC, Switch, all that stuff. You would choose whatever you needed to. Now, if you were trying to record audio with PlayStation, you would definitely need to switch to either the PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4, and then switch your audio input from HDMI to audio analog in order to capture both your voice as well as the game sound. So that is something that I don't like about PlayStation. You still have to have the chat link in order to capture both your sound and your voice, but it's just a thing that comes along with trying to make content like this, right? So again, for now, Xbox, in my opinion, is the easiest to capture. You don't need anything else. You can just hook up your Xbox, press record, your voice gets on the video, your gameplay gets on the video. It's very simple. Now after that, you can choose your quality and all that stuff, but basically that's what everything here is. It's pretty simple. You could also adjust your picture if you wanted to. I've always liked it just where it is. I can't even get it back. We're gonna restore defaults. There you go, buddy boy. And of course you could do that for brightness, contrast, saturation, and your hue. Now as far as your audio goes, this is going to be once again for the PlayStation part. If you're using your Elgato chat link, you could turn down your volume or turn up your volume depending on what you needed, which was really nice. And then you could also add profiles. I didn't ever really have to. I'm the only one that uses this, so everything was always set the way that I needed. So we're done with that there. Alright, so the best thing about this software, and the one thing that the other software does not have, is it's got its own dedicated streaming button. I just linked up my YouTube really quick, but you could link up whatever it is that you wanted. You could do Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Restream, Ustream, Daily Motion, or you could link up anything else that you wanted to. You could do that very easily, and then just click your stream button and you'd be streaming automatically. Now, we don't really use the live streaming on this anymore. Number one, because we're using the 4K capture utility, but also number two, because whenever we do stream, we use things like OBS or Streamlabs in order to have all of our overlays and sounds looking just right. But if you wanted to, if this is the only thing that you had, you could stream directly from this software, and that was really, really nice. So right here's where you would have all of your accounts. Now if you wanted to add more, you could just click on the plus button and have your Twitch account, have your YouTube account, or whatever it is that you wanted, and then choose which one you wanted to stream to independently, which is kind of nice. Right here's where you would put your title for your stream. You could turn this up. As you guys can see, if I started a stream right now with 2.5 Mbps, that would only give us a 720 at 60 stream, but you could always turn this up. I would usually put this up to 5, and that'll give you a 1080p at 30. You could continue more if your internet's better, and that would change it to 1080p 60, but usually I would just stream at around a 5 or a 5.5, and that would be perfectly fine. Now as far as your game audio goes, as you guys can see, I have a game opened up right now, and every time that we move, this bar is going to jump. You can't hear it right now because we're not recording using the Elgato, but you can see that it's working. Now if you wanted to turn your audio up, you could just go all the way up, which you don't want to do. You never want to have it clipping or in the red, but I would usually leave mine around 70, which is 0 dB. But if you wanted to go by the decibel points, you could just click the icon here, and that would change to your decibels. So you go up 6, down 6, whatever you wanted, but right around 0 would be fine for me, and that's usually around 75 or 70. Yeah, so around 70. Now the same thing is available for your live commentary. We've got our microphone set up. Once again, I'm not recording right now, but if you wanted to, you could just click on this, and this, you need to make sure that this is turned on if you want your audio to be showing up. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on it right now, and you guys can see my mic is being picked up. We're gonna turn this back off, and now it's off, but you would choose what audio source you want in order to have your voice recording. Now you are going to need a separate microphone for that, right? So you want to have a external mic that you're using to record your own voice. I've got the Yeti microphone, so we're going to go ahead and click on that, and again, the same type of thing. We can turn this up or down. I would usually leave mine at a 0 because you don't want to be too loud whenever you're doing this. So that's going to be 50, 51, something like that. And if you actually want to hear yourself, which this might sound weird in the video itself, but you want to turn this on, and you can turn this on as well, and you can hear yourself whenever you're doing actual recording of that. Turn this back off. Everything is good. Your Elgato sound capture, like I said, this is really good if you want to add music to the software as you're doing your streams or your recordings. But whenever we do stream, we usually use OBS or Streamlabs and stuff like that, and we have our own setup over there. So I never really use this, but you can use this to put some music on your streams whenever you're streaming from this software. It's a really good thing to have, but I never really use it that much. And as far as your video tags, this is what you are going to name your video. So if I was playing this game, the game would be down here, Elgato, and then you could name it whatever you want, Run 1, whatever it is that you wanted. And whenever you were to record that, I'm actually going to jump into this real quick so I can show you what I'm talking about. So if you were to actually record that, you would just press record. Now I'm just going to record 3 to 5 seconds really quick. You'd stop your recording, and whenever you go to your edit area, which is my other favorite thing, your software would show up right here. This is the game that we chose. This is Run 1. This is the video, and you could edit it, which is one of the best things about this software. We'll talk about that here in a sec. And then if you wanted to mess around with your tags, your video title and stuff like that a lot easier, you could click on the gear icon down here at the bottom, and that would let you do everything all in one go. So as far as your buttons of operation go, down here at the bottom, you have your record button, which we just showed you. This is what you press in order to record your gameplay, whatever's going on right now. Now this is your flashback recording. I can go all the way back to where I had this. I've been doing this for a minute and a half, so I could go back. If I forgot to press record, I could go back and then just press the record button, and that would bring us back to the live, as well as record everything that we forgot to record, which is one of my favorite things about this software. Now I think the other software has it as well, but it's just very nicely used here on this particular software. So we're going to stop this right here. Now I've been recording for 1 minute and 52 seconds, so whenever we go to our edit, you'll see that we went back in time and recorded everything, even though we hadn't pressed the record button yet. It's a very nice feature. You got rewind if you need to go back. You can do that really quick. You can pause the gameplay. You can go forward to catch back up to where you're supposed to be, or you can just press live to see what's happening in instant game view. So if you wanted a screenshot of this, you could just click on the screenshot. It's one of my favorite features of this, and you could click it, and that would send it to your desktop in case anything awesome is happening on screen. I think that's a really nice feature of this software. What else do we got? What is this right here? Disable preview, which you could do if you didn't want to see what you're recording. That's totally fine, but we're going to leave that on. Now if you wanted to, you could have all these other little things here, which would allow you to do overlays. But like I said, these overlays are cool and everything, but whenever we're actually streaming, we're using OBS, we're using Streamlabs and stuff like that, so we already have all of our settings done the way that we want them. You could add your face cam here. I'm not going to turn mine on right now. I'm not dressed for this, but if you wanted to, you could add your face cam and do other overlays or add things that you wanted to yourself. So that's a really nice feature. We're going to turn that down there. If you wanted to go live, you could just click on that, and that's the way you would get started. Now after that, you got your live commentary. Again, if you're doing live commentary, if you want your voice to be heard as you're doing your gameplay, you want to click this. You want to make sure that's always on if you always want to capture your own audio. So that is the thing there. I think that covers everything here. Now my favorite thing about the software is that it does have the edit feature, which the other software does not have. The Elgato 4K Capture, you do not have this specific feature here, and this allows you to go into your video and edit out anything you don't need, or keep only small parts of your video. Just do very simple editing, but at least it has this feature. The 4K Capture does not have this feature at all. If you want to edit your video, you have to have your own software, pull that from your capture, and then edit it on that software. So I'm just going to show you a couple things here, but it looks great, so you can check that out just by pressing play. You can go back to the beginning, rewind, press the play button. If you found any picture in particular during your gameplay, if I just wanted to capture this frame in particular, you could also take a snapshot of this, and once again, that would simply throw it right here, and that's what we got right there. So it's very simple to use. Besides that, you can go back, you could drag wherever you wanted, and you can make cuts and stuff. So if I didn't want this first part of the video, like, alright, so this video is not important, right? But if I didn't want the first 15 seconds of this video, I could click on the snip right here, and that's going to cut it. You guys can see the cut, and then I could delete this. and that would be a really easy way to get rid of stuff you didn't want to actually capture, but you just want to make sure you're capturing all the time. And then say something awesome happened here. We're playing Call of Duty and you got a quad kill or something. That's where this started. So this is where you would want to start, and then maybe you only wanted to capture the quad kill. You could do another snip and not capture the rest of the gameplay and cut that out. You do want to be careful though, because once you delete these areas, you cannot pull them back. So let's say we got a quad kill here, and then some other stuff happened, and like there wasn't anything important that happened here, but then here, this part, this is where we got Kilimanjaro. I know I'm mixing games here, but I got a Kilimanjaro right here, and you could do another snip, and then again, this is where we got our quad kill. Nothing happened here, so we wanted to get rid of that. This is where we got our Kilimanjaro, and then nothing happened for the rest of the game, so we want to delete that. It's just a really basic way of editing, but at least you have it with the software. And then after that, if you wanted to upload that to your YouTube channel, to Twitter, or whatever else it is that you chose in your options, then you could go ahead and do that. Now if you wanted to add more stuff here, you'd go back to that same area that I showed you before and go to sharing and add other places. So if I wanted to bring it, if I wanted to send it to Movie Maker for some reason, we would just hit OK, and that'll add that option there. But for me, at least the way I work, I would either just want to upload it to YouTube. If it was a short clip, we could just upload it to Twitch, or if it was a long video like I usually make, I would just try to download that myself and edit it in my personal software. So that is why I personally love this software, and it's the last time that I'm going to use it. Hopefully I captured everything that I need in order to show you guys some comparison videos between this software and the Elgato 4K capture utility, because I'm not going to have access to this anymore. Or I guess I will, but I won't have a capture card that allows me to use this. So even if I want to go back and show you stuff, I won't be able to do it unless I do it with this video. So my voice is getting dry and raspy. I'm going to end this video. Hopefully you guys got a good overview of this, and I know the majority of you may already be using the 4K capture utility. I know some diehard people like my friend who I'm sending this card to absolutely love this software and will not upgrade, particularly either because of this software or because they don't find a need in order to upgrade to the S Plus or the Elgato HD60 X. But personally, this is my favorite software, and I guess that's it. I don't think I have anything else. A lot of the tutorials that we will make for Elgato will apply both or to everything, as well as the Elgato HD60 S, the S Plus, and the Elgato HD60 X. So even if I'm not going to be able to use this software anymore, the tutorials I make for OBS and Streamlabs and Twitch and all that other sort of stuff will apply to every software. So hopefully that did something for you. I was basically making this video for me because I am going to want to draw comparisons to future softwares, and yeah, so hopefully I remember to not ever delete this software because I'm not going to have access to it anymore. So with that said, I'm going to shut my stupid face. I feel like we went over everything on this possible software. I'm going to close this out, and I will see you on the next video.